The Eclipse Lounge was the kind of place where the wealthy elite dined in an ambience of understated luxury. It was a high-end restaurant in Los Angeles, frequented by business tycoons, Hollywood celebrities, and high-profile politicians. Everything about it, from the hand-stitched leather seats to the crystal chandeliers, screamed exclusivity. Among the restaurant's staff was Amber Collins, a sharp-tongued, politically outspoken waitress who took pride in calling out what she saw as corporate greed and billionaire arrogance. In her early 20s, Amber had strong liberal views and wasn't shy about voicing them. She had a deep disdain for the ultra-rich, believing they exploited workers while living in excess. That evening, the restaurant was bustling. The scent of seared Wagyu steak and truffle risotto filled the air. Soft jazz played in the background as patrons sipped their vintage wines and whispered about stock markets and film deals. Amber had already been having a rough night. A demanding table had sent back their dish 3 times and a couple had left without tipping. She was in no mood for nonsense when an unassuming man walked into the restaurant. Dressed in a simple black turtleneck and jeans, the man didn't fit the typical profile of an Eclipse Lounge guest. He had a relaxed demeanor, hands in his pockets, and a casual smirk on his face as he glanced around. His arrival went unnoticed by most of the high-profile clientele, but Amber noticed and immediately formed an opinion. Another tech bro who thinks he's too cool to dress up for a luxury restaurant, she thought. As the hostess led the man to a table near the large glass window overlooking the city, Amber rolled her eyes and grabbed a menu. She approached with the trained politeness expected of a waitress at Eclipse Lounge, but her inner frustration was evident in her tone. "Welcome to Eclipse Lounge," she said, barely concealing her annoyance. "Would you like to start with still or sparkling water?" The man looked up at her, his blue-gray eyes filled with amusement. "Still, please." "Thank you." His voice was calm, almost playful, as if he found something entertaining about the situation. Amber noticed how casual he was, no urgency, no sense of entitlement. But something about him irritated her. Maybe it was because he wasn't acting the way rich people normally did in a place like this. She handed him the menu. "Just so you know, this is a high-end restaurant. Our cheapest appetizer is $75, she said, the sarcasm in her voice unmistakable. The man raised an eyebrow. "Oh? That's good to know," he said, nodding slowly. Amber continued, unable to hold back. "Yeah. We get a lot of, influencers and wannabe tech entrepreneurs who think they can afford it, but they just take pictures and leave when they see the prices." She smirked, expecting the man to fumble or get defensive. Instead, he just chuckled, completely unfazed. Musk tilted his head slightly, an amused glint in his eyes. "So if I wasn't Elon Musk, it would have been fine to be rude to me?" Amber winced. "Walked right into that one." Amber winced. "Walked right into that one." "No. I mean," she floundered for words, her heart pounding. I usually try to make sure our clientele fits the, expectations of our establishment." Musk chuckled softly. "Ah. So, you're the gatekeeper of luxury dining?" Amber opened her mouth, then closed it. There was no way to win this conversation. "Relax," Musk said finally, picking up his glass. "I'm not mad." Amber let out a shaky breath. "You're not?" "Nope." He took a sip. "It was entertaining, actually. Refreshing to have someone talk to me like a regular person instead of kissing up." Amber blinked. She had expected anything but that. Musk smiled. "But, just out of curiosity, if I wasn't me, would you have treated me the same way?" Amber hesitated. "Honestly?" Musk nodded. She sighed. "Yeah, probably." Musk chuckled again. "Fair enough." For a brief second, she felt relief. Maybe, just maybe, she wouldn't get fired. Maybe this was just a funny story Musk would tell at parties. But then he added, "Of course, as the owner of this place, I do have to consider how my staff treats customers." Amber's stomach dropped. Musk smirked. "I guess we'll see where this goes." Amber stood frozen, her mind racing. "We'll see where this goes?" That could mean anything. Would she get fired? Would she be reprimanded? Or, oh God, would Musk go full on Twitter mode and publicly call her out? She could already see the headline. "Liberal waitress insults Elon Musk in his own restaurant, regrets it instantly." She swallowed hard. "Sir, Musk held up a hand. "Relax," he said again, still as casual as ever. "Let's just enjoy the meal, shall we?" Amber forced a nod and practically sprinted back to the server's station. Lisa was waiting for her with wide eyes. "Well?" Amber exhaled. "He said he's not mad." Lisa raised an eyebrow. "And you believe him?" Amber shook her head. "Nope." Lisa sighed. "You need to fix this, like now." Amber gritted her teeth. "How? Offer him free dessert?" Lisa thought for a second. "Maybe show him you're not just some rude waitress?" Talk to him. Be nice. Amber groaned. The last thing I want to do is make small talk with a billionaire. Lisa gave her a pointed look. The last thing you want is to be unemployed. Amber knew she was right. Taking another deep breath, she grabbed Musk's plate when it was ready and walked it over to his table, her nerves still shot. Here's your meal, sir, she said, setting down the plate. Enjoy. Musk looked at the dish and gave a small nod. Looks great. Then he glanced up at her. Tell me, Amber, do you actually like working here? Amber stiffened. He had read her name tag. She forced a polite smile. It's fine. Musk raised an eyebrow. Fine. Amber shifted awkwardly. I mean, I'm not planning on being a waitress forever. Musk smirked. What's the dream then? Amber hesitated. She really didn't want to have this conversation. I want to be a journalist. Musk's smirk grew. Ah, a journalist. Let me guess. Independent media? Exposing corruption? Speaking truth to power? Amber narrowed her eyes slightly. Yeah, something like that. Musk nodded. Interesting. And yet, here you are, passing judgment on people based on how they look. Amber's face flushed. That's not what I do. Musk gave her an amused look. No? She clenched her jaw. I assumed you were one of those tech bros who take pictures of expensive food and leave without paying. Musk finished, clearly enjoying himself. Amber groaned. Okay, fine. Maybe I jumped to conclusions. Musk smiled. Now that's journalism. Report first, verify later. Amber scowled. That's not... Ugh, never mind. Musk chuckled, picking up his fork. Tell you what, Amber. I won't fire you. Amber blinked. Wait. You were actually considering firing me? Musk shrugged. I own the place. I can do whatever I want. Amber's heart pounded. So why aren't you? Musk took a bite of his food, chewing thoughtfully before answering. Because I think you can learn something from this. Amber crossed her arms. Oh, so now you're my teacher? Musk grinned. Something like that. Amber stared at him, unsure what game he was playing. But one thing was certain, this night was far from over. Amber stood there, arms crossed, her frustration barely concealed. Learn something from this? She repeated, her voice laced with skepticism. And what exactly am I supposed to be learning? Musk leaned back in his chair, swirling his glass of water as if he had all the time in the world. Let's start with this. Why do you hate rich people? Amber's jaw clenched. I don't hate rich people. Musk tilted his head. You don't. She sighed. I hate the system that lets billionaires hoard money while regular people struggle. Musk nodded slowly. Fair argument. But let's put it in perspective. Do you hate all rich people, or just the ones who made their money in ways you don't like? Amber hesitated. I mean, I don't hate actors or musicians. They work for what they earn. Musk smirked. And I didn't? She crossed her arms tighter. You were born rich. Musk sighed, rubbing his temple. You really think my father's emerald mine money built Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and a dozen other companies? Amber hesitated. She had read a lot of Twitter debates on this but never actually researched it herself. Look, Musk continued, I get it. The system is flawed. But you don't fix it by assuming every rich person is evil. Some of us are actually trying to change things. Amber scoffed. Like how? By selling expensive cars to people who already have money. Musk chuckled. And building reusable rockets. And developing brain interfaces for paralyzed people. And providing internet to rural areas. But sure, let's focus on the cars. Amber opened her mouth to argue but paused. She wanted to believe he was just another greedy billionaire, but the truth was he had done a lot. Even people who hated him admitted that. Musk leaned forward slightly. Here's a tip, Amber. If you want to be a journalist, if you want to expose things, don't just believe the loudest voices. Question everything. Even your own opinions. Amber swallowed. She had spent years convinced that billionaires were the root of all evil. But now, sitting across from one of the richest men on the planet, she found herself unsure. He wasn't the arrogant, out-of-touch villain she had expected. He was smart, quick-witted, even kind of funny. And most annoyingly, he was making sense. Musk grinned. Now, since I'm not firing you, how about we end this little debate and you bring me dessert? Amber blinked. Wait, you're actually staying? Musk smirked. Of course. The food's great. And honestly, so is this conversation. Amber sighed, rubbing her forehead. You're impossible. Musk chuckled. I get that a lot. As she walked toward the kitchen to grab his dessert, Amber found herself thinking about everything he had said. Maybe, just maybe, she had been wrong about him. Amber returned to the table, placing a perfectly plated chocolate souffle in front of Musk. There you go, she said, her tone less sharp than before. Hope it meets your billionaire standards. Musk grinned. Oh, I'm sure it'll be life-changing. Amber smirked despite herself. She had spent most of the evening seeing him as an enemy, but now? He was just a guy. A really rich, really famous guy, sure, but still just a guy. As he took his first bite, Musk looked at her thoughtfully. So, you really want to be a journalist? Amber shrugged. Yeah, it's kind of the dream. Musk nodded. But instead, you're here, judging customers based on their outfits. Amber sighed. Okay, I get it. I was wrong. Musk chuckled. I wasn't looking for an apology. He leaned back, studying her. I was just thinking. Amber raised an eyebrow. Thinking what? Musk tapped his fork against the plate. I like hiring people who aren't afraid to challenge ideas even when they're completely wrong. Amber blinked. Thanks. Musk smirked. So, here's a thought, you want to be a journalist? How about a job? Amber's mouth nearly dropped open. A job? With you? Musk shrugged. Not as my waitress, obviously. But I have media projects, content, communications, research. You want to challenge the system? Maybe you should actually see how it works from the inside. Amber stared at him. You're joking. Musk raised an eyebrow. I never joke about business. Amber felt her heart race. Was this real? The same man she had insulted just an hour ago was offering her a job? She hesitated. This was Elon Musk. The man who dominated headlines. The man who built rockets and electric cars. Working for him would be insane. And yet, are you serious? She asked. Musk smiled. Always. Amber took a deep breath. Maybe, just maybe, this was the opportunity she never saw coming. She extended her hand. All right, Musk. Let's talk. Musk shook it, his smirk widening. Welcome to the real world, Amber. As he finished his dessert, Amber knew one thing for sure, this was just the beginning of something much, much bigger.